honestly have to say I've made lots of mistakes in my career as an employee, but I think one of the biggest things is not speaking up.
Like your customers still dictate what you need to do and how you need to do it, whatever that customer base looks like. Mm. Welcome back, folks. This is episode 25. For 25, it's about your paycheck. We're talking about
Mhm.
our personal. We realized that we never really did an employee origin story. We did it
Yeah,
on our other show right out the gate. Like, why are we doing this? Who are we? Who are we to talk about payroll? I guess it was more assumed with it. Before we get into all that, what's up, Walt? How you doing this morning?
man, I'm good. Happy Sunday. Happy if you celebrate. Happy
If you
Easter. If you
celebrate, yeah.
observe, happy Easter to you. If not, happy every other
Happy
day to you.
Sunday, for real.
Yeah,
Yeah. Shoot, if you're already tomorrow, then happy Monday
yeah.
for you.
But by the time you hear this episode, it would have
Yeah,
already
for
passed.
real. Yeah.
Still, yeah. How about you, man? How you
Um,
doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. Super busy, just trying to keep up and
Yeah.
making sure we balance things out good and looking forward to today some food. Yeah, yeah, and that's about it, man. But yeah, okay, so we are talking about our origin stories today. And again, we
Hmm.
just like soon we just did we took it for granted and was like, "So why don't we tell people how we started off and all this and
Yeah,
became an employee?"
yeah,
But
yeah.
before that, as always, we have some pay news updates, and Walt has a nice quote to share with us to get us motivated, get us going, get us started,
Yes.
sir.
Thank you, sir. So the quote is by the great, God rest his soul, Nelson Mandela.
Madiba,
It always seems impossible until it's done. Plain and simple,
no doubt, no
powerful,
doubt.
right?
Yeah,
Those things seem insurmountable. Those things seem like mountains. Seem, man, this is gonna be so hard. I can't do it. I don't know if I can do it. Those
word.
things may seem, like I said, it may seem impossible, but
Hmm.
that's as you're doing it, and the next thing you know, you're on the top of the hill, and you're going down the other side, like, oh, I actually did it. I
I
actually
did it.
scaled this mountain, this thing that I saw as a proverbial mountain or whatever.
It makes me think of one of Jay Z's lines:
Hmm.
"Difficult takes a day, impossible takes a week." Excuse me, bro. Man, I'm sorry, man.
You okay?
Nah, I'm feeling a little sick. Which reminds me, crap, man, I need to put in my sick time.
Oh, what system do you use?
Oh, TrakGO, the simply better employee time clock software that is going to make your life easier. I don't know if you know, man, but it already has a unique graphical employee time card, and it's awesome because it helps you quickly identify and fix the mistakes.
That's right. Now that you say that, they just announced the addition of an automatic PTO accrual earnings, so you can say goodbye to those manual calculations. Time Track Go's new automatic PTO accrual feature takes the hassle out of tracking those earned and accrued times, assuring accuracy and consistency for both employees and HR teams.
Oh, that's golden. That's awesome. You know what? That's right. I remember that. I read that you can choose from various rules like yearly, monthly, pay period, hourly, and hourly percentage to seamlessly align with your company's policies. It includes new state sick leave. Awesome, because I'm not feeling good. That's going to help. And you can do vacation hours that automatically increase with length of service.
Man, like, how could someone find out what a simply better solution could do for their business?
Oh, to learn more, they're always doing a 14-day free trial. Someone should go to their website at www.timetrackgo.com. That's TIMETRAK go.com. Or if they want to call, the number is 888-321-9922. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
no doubt.
Brian with the lyrics. All right, cool. All right. I'm gonna get into my thing here. It's a article by hbr.org, and it's talking about the trends that will shape work in 2024 and beyond.
Interesting. Okay.
So we as employees, I think this is stuff that we could definitely be on the lookout for as we see more of
Okay.
this stuff start to happen. Or it may
Okay.
some of you that are listening may have already be going through this right now at your work,
Yeah.
or it's on the horizon for you. So number one, a lot of one of the number one trend is for creative benefits to address work costs, because as we know, inflation is a thing that we are all
Hmm.
experiencing.
Hmm.
78% of us live paycheck to paycheck in the United States, right?
Yeah.
And so companies are trying to get creative with how they do stuff. And so one of the ways is benefits to address those work costs.
Uh,
As remote or hybrid work becomes more prevalent, organizations are offering creative benefits to address the financial, time, and energy costs associated with going to the office. So an example of that, or examples of that, could include housing subsidies, caregiver benefits,
okay.
financial well-being programs, and
Yep.
student loan repayment assistance, which we know
Yep.
that some companies are starting to more companies are rolling that out. And so instead of doing just 401k and matching 401k, they may match a certain percent of your student loan payment now to
Yep.
help you repay those things back. So companies are trying to offer those type of benefits to lure in
Creative.
talent
Creative.
and
Yeah.
retain talent. Oh, hey, we'll help you pay off your student loan. Come on. Oh
Yep.
shit. Okay, let me go over there with them and join on this
Hmm.
workforce.
Yep.
Number two, AI. AI's impact on the workforce. While there is anxiety about AI replacing jobs in the short to medium term, AI, specifically generative AI or Gen AI, will lead to job redesign and new responsibilities
Yeah.
rather than job replacement. So
Yes.
something that Brian has always been saying. He's saying we're ways off before
Hmm.
certain industries and certain jobs are taken. There's going to be
Yep.
like little things, like some dangerous jobs that AI might be able to do, like in the case of that burger place that we saw, where the
Oh yeah.
robots were frying and
Making
the
burgers. Yep.
grilling and stuff like that. But
Doing the
the human
dangerous
was
stuff.
doing yeah, was doing the dangerous stuff. But then the human delivered the food. Here's your
Finish
food.
it
Like,
off.
let's
They were
finish
putting
it
the
off.
fixings on. They were plating
And that
it,
bowl
and
in there.
kind of
Yes.
delivery. Final delivery came from them. But yeah, it's exactly. It's going to be
Yeah.
a hybrid effect, I think.
So, Gen AI is expected to play a significant role in the text and data heavy task by 2025, prompting the need for businesses to adapt their plans and expectations for AI implementation. So, that means there might be a data entry job, something like that, that the AI can do for you and help be a tool to help get those things done faster.
Hmm.
So you want to start looking at AI as a tool to help improve your job. And like I said here, it's going to provide or give new responsibilities rather than job
Yes,
replacement.
that's right.
So number three, one of the interesting trends here that I saw was a transition to 4-day work weeks. We just saw on the
We
news that
talked about
Bernie
that. Yeah.
Sanders was is pushing that bill with Congress, trying to push it and really trying to get that schedule. A lot of other countries outside of the U.S. already have this
Oh, really?
4-day work. There's studies out there that people are more engaged, and like
Hmm.
the
Heck
productivity
yeah.
is increased on a 4-day work week.
Mm.
So the concept of a 4-day work week is becoming less radical and more routine, driven by employee preference and potential productivity and benefits. Something that I believe, and then I'll let you
Yeah, yeah.
in.
Just chime in about
Something
it.
that something that I believe, like I said here, to the well-being benefits. If you have a healthy, and when I say healthy, mentally,
Okay,
emotionally,
gotcha.
from the employee standpoint, when your employees are healthy, your
Hmm.
company's healthy.
Amen. Yeah. Yep.
What do you guys say?
Agreed. I was listening to something, a report, a news report, that talking about the 4-day work week, but
Yeah.
the other end of it was how one company they didn't want to do the 4-day work week. They were scared of that, but what they did
Hmm.
was half day Fridays.
Okay. Okay.
I'll take it. Either or is a good, but I think the trend is
Let me get
moving
a half day.
correctly.
Yes.
What's that? Make it a yeah.
Let me get a half day.
I think yeah, I think 4 days is fine
Yeah.
if it's done. And I think we gotta remember, folks, not everybody can do this. I guess maybe they could because it's yeah, everybody actually that this does lend well. Because I was talking to my mom about remote, and not every company can do remote. Not every position function can be remote. You can't deliver burgers from home. You can't do certain things from home.
Drones.
Not
Mm,
yet, anyway. Yeah, exactly. But retail, you go.
yes.
I guess a lot of things are changing, but there are still a lot of things that can be done remote.
Yes.
So we got to be mindful of that. Not everybody. Oh, I want to work remote. Not everybody can work remote,
Mm-mm.
but 4 day work weeks, literally everybody could do that. Um,
Yes. You
it's
just
some
have to structure
scheduling
it.
differences,
Yes.
right? Somebody's got
You
to work
just
the
you,
weekend anyway.
you just have
Yeah,
to really structure it what's best for your
right.
company.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it may be good if you have one employee who's off on a Friday, and then you have the other employee who's off on a Monday
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
balance it out. Hey,
To
okay, hey,
balance it out. Yeah.
you always have coverage. You want to make sure that you always have
Exactly.
coverage.
You might have to stagger. Someone has to
Yes.
stagger their work week, right? So it's like Tuesday through Friday, Wednesday through Saturday, Thursday,
Hmm.
Sunday. That's your 4 days. So it is what it is. But I like it. I like where that's going.
All right. And then continuing on about the 4-day work weeks, organizations adopting this model need to rethink work cadences and
Hmm.
scheduling to maximize its benefits. As
Yep.
to what Brian was saying, so companies really need to think this through for us, the employees, if they're going to do this for us. Number four, the importance of employee conflict resolution skills. So we live in an age now, you have to be careful about what you say, how you say it, even more so
Hmm.
more than ever before, right?
Hmm.
The landscape has changed.
So
A
true.
lot of these younger generations are saying like, no, we're not putting up with any abuse, whether that's
That's right.
verbally, physically, mentally, whatever it
Yep.
is. We're not putting up with any crap from anybody.
Hmm.
So in order for us to navigate this new landscape, you need to develop this employee conflict resolution skill.
Yep.
So with various crises contributing to heightened employee conflict resolution skills among managers are crucial for maintaining individual and team performances. Organizations should invest in upskilling managers and recognize the effective conflict resolution as a valuable skill. Because back in the day, you and I came up in that generation that said, "Oh, put your head down, work hard,
Yeah.
don't complain,
Yeah.
keep your mouth."
Don't
Yep,
stop crying. Yep.
yep. Stop crying, do the damn job. So things are
Me and what
changing.
was at the desk like this.
The emoji with the tears. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
should be grateful you got a job.
Uh, yeah. Oh
Mhm.
man. Yep. Oh, so much toxicity that we came up in is crazy.
Yeah. Number five, challenges and opportunities for generative AI
Okay.
implementation. We talked a little bit about that earlier, so I'm going to go past that one. Number six, shift from degree to skills based hiring. So
Yep.
this is a trend that we starting
No
to see.
doubt.
What was that?
No
It
doubt.
was Google that hired their first engineer
Yeah.
without
Yep.
without a college
Without a
degree,
degree.
or developer
Yep.
without a college degree. So organizations are increasingly prioritizing skills over degrees and job requirements, expanding the talent pool to include workers without traditional degrees. This shift enables employers to tap into a broader range of talent and invest in internal talent developmental programs. So the times are changing. Companies are saying like, "Hey, this person has all the prerequisite skill set to do this job. We're going to build
Hmm.
them up, even though they have a high school diploma or a GED. They have the
Yep.
skill in order to make sure that this happens." Integration of climate change protection as an employee benefit. So yes, companies are. This is becoming a thing for employees, right? So climate change protection, including safety measures, compensation for impacted employees, and mental health support, is becoming a prominent employee benefit.
Wow.
Yeah, organizations are recognizing the need to address climate related risk and support employees affected by climate related events. So this is a big thing because we know that we see the weather changing. more dramatic storms are coming. All these different things are impacting. We just saw what happened in San Diego with all the flooding and the rain
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Right.
So
Wow.
how good would it feel for those people who weren't able to work and their company still has some sort of benefit in place to make sure that they have the mental health support, the financial support to help them
Yeah.
out during those times. So a lot of companies
No
are saying
doubt.
like, hey, let's make this a benefit, even if it's something that you have to pay per paycheck, but
Yeah.
it may end up being
It's
something that like
insurance. Yeah. Some type of
benefits you.
disaster insurance. Yeah.
Yes, so more companies are rolling that out, and
It's good stuff.
I think it's a good thing, honestly.
Yeah, it's thoughtful. It's very thoughtful, and
Hmm.
especially like you said, if you're in those places where they kind of things happen. For here, for me, South Florida, would be hurricanes. You
Yes.
know,
Hmm.
up by you might be snowstorms, blizzards, things
Hmm.
like that. Tornadoes in other parts of the country, rain, and what is it?
Yes.
The wildfires in
Yes.
California. All these
Wildfires,
things. Every country
mudslides,
has something.
flooding,
Yeah, a
earthquakes.
country, every part of the country has something going on.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes. So I think that's good. Number eight, I have two more.
thoughtful. Yep.
Number eight, embedding DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion throughout organizations. So this is some people don't like DEI, and there's like different thoughts on there that DEI is harmful in some cases, but diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts will shift from standalone initiatives to embedded values in organizations,
Mm-hmm.
culture,
As it
and
should.
operations.
Yep.
It will become integral to achieving high performance in business objectives. The reason, and this could probably be a safe talk question. This could have been a safe talk question on here, but the
I mean,
reason
it
some
still
people
can be.
don't like DEI is because they say that it may give preferential treatment to a certain group of people versus somebody who has the necessary skill set. That's what some arguments are. This is not a
Yeah.
political show,
Okay.
but
Well, don't get me started then. God damn.
I'm just saying that there's arguments out there for against it and for it. So what do you got to say?
No, I get it, I get it. But my initial reaction was no. We did away with was it freaking I forgot the term. Well,
Affirmative action.
affirmative action. Thank you. We did away with that. That is what they were saying is creating that imbalance, and then if gone away, now
People are still
comes the
complaining about
the.
DEI.
I
They
don't
are.
see how. I don't look. If you pick, yeah, you can't pick someone that's not skilled enough for the job to do a job just because. That's a
Because you're trying
problem.
to fill a quota.
Yeah, and that's why affirmative action went away because people were just trying to fill quotas, putting unskilled people where they shouldn't be, and or not qualified people. And that I get. Like you can't do that. Neither can
Hmm.
DEI. That should not be the aim. You have to fill. What you can do is say, oh, I don't want to fill this position. I found the right person, but I don't like them because of that.
Yeah.
Or they're from a different place. Or they're
Hmm.
from Brooklyn and I'm from Queens. I mean,
Yeah.
like that. They're from. They like Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm a Giant fan. We can't. Like no. But yeah, I guess it is. It is. We could easily. This maybe be a show one day. Oh, we can
Yes,
talk
sir.
about it. Yeah, it's good. It's a good topic.
And then my last one before I pass the baton here is number nine, adaptation to atypical career paths. So that
That's
means
a good one.
companies are not shying away no longer shying away from those atypical career paths. So traditional career paths are evolving as
Hmm.
employees embrace non-traditional employment models, career breaks, and industry shifts. Organizations need to adapt to offering flexibility, recognizing expertise regardless of tenure, and preparing
Hmm.
for the retirement of experienced workers, which is a big thing because we looked at from the payroll industry, which is Brian and I's background.
Yeah,
We saw that there's not a influx of young workers
that's
coming into
right.
payroll,
Yep.
and we're on the other side coming down towards returement. We're looking
Yeah,
at towards
for real.
retirement
We're
as
closer to retirement than not. Yeah.
yes, we've been in this game like 2 decades and a half, pretty much
Yeah. Hmm.
collectively, and so we've been in this game like 24. I think it's 24 years for me now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like a little bit more for Brian. Brian's going to three
Hmm.
decades closer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
pretty
like we've been in
much.
this
We're
game a
almost
long
at that
time.
50 cent mark together. Yep.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? So this is something to really think about and consider
Yep.
that this, I'm sure our industry, the payroll industry, is not the only industry that's having this. We see
No,
it
it's
with
not. Yeah.
CPAs,
Yep.
accounting, finance. We see it with
Construction. Yep.
construction. Yes, we see it
Yep.
because these younger generations are finding other means to get
Yep.
income and employment. They're working for
Yeah.
themselves by
Yep.
being an influencer or
Yeah.
whatever, or like cooking on Instagram or
Yeah.
TikTok and
Yeah.
just
There
paying their bills
there
through their
never
views.
been so many millionaires in the world.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a changing dynamic for it all. Yeah. It's good
So I
stuff.
know that that was pretty long winded for me for my news update, but I'll
No, it's
pass it
good.
along. Yeah.
I think our origin stories ain't that long, so we be
Nah.
fine.
Nah.
Mine was from Fast Company, and it was basically just the link will be in the show notes. It's a bigger article, but I think this one little excerpt from the article kind of highlights what this article is going to be about, or
Yeah.
what it is about, and it's about emotional salary. So again, folks, I love how our stuff just stays on point, right? Like we're always in the same vein, even though we do not
Yeah.
pre-prep together. We prep
Mm-mm.
separately and then bring it together. And I love that because it just different view, whatever. Anywho, so mine is called emotional salary. Is well, the excerpt says from fastcompany.com, and its emotional salary is the non-monetary compensation that impacts how people feel about their job, like
Mm.
career, work-life balance. For instance, getting real and relevant feedback from a manager or having a coworker proactively check in to help you feel supported falls under the umbrella of emotional salary. Facets of
Mm.
emotional salary drive outcomes of validation, belonging, and fulfillment. All meaningful perks extra cash can't
Wow.
replicate,
Yes.
right? So these are the things that folks are looking for at work. And at
Mm.
least the survey says, I can tell you firsthand, it definitely is meaningful for me because
Yeah.
you can make a ton of money. But if you're not comfortable, if you don't feel like you
Yes.
can get along with your coworkers, you can talk to your boss and have good
Yes.
feedback and be and respected for what you do, and if you don't have these non-monetary things, you're going to be looking for you're quiet quitting, and you're going to be looking for the next
Yes.
job very quickly.
Yes. How
Oh,
many people have changed careers or left
yeah.
jobs? They were making the
Yes.
money, but they were
Tons.
miserable.
Yes, you
They,
hear with entrepreneurs all the time. Oh, I was making great money doing this, but I my passion is bird
mm-hmm.
watching and
Mm-hmm.
or food or
Mm-hmm.
horticulture or whatever, farming. People leave
Yep.
their high paying jobs to do other things. They just I know a CEO that started his business because he said every morning, he was in finance, every morning he would pull up to the parking lot and just dread getting out of the car and going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew he had to get out of it and do something else.
Yes. If you are at that place as an employee and you're listening to this, then you have to think about your mental health well-being because
Yes.
if you're going to this job and your first thought is I can't stand this damn job,
Can't stand this job. Exactly.
oh, if it's like
Yep.
that every Monday,
Yeah,
then
then
you may have to. So I'm not saying that you necessarily need to
oh,
leave a
no,
job because there has been,
easier said than done too.
yeah, there has to be some thought or some consideration that what
Of
could I
course.
do? What could I do? Because right now this job is paying my bills. I
Mhm.
am highly compensated. What can I
Mhm.
do to make my mental health better? So I
Mhm.
can function at this job and do what I got to get through. Because the company may not necessarily be so bad. You need to be honest and upfront about that too. Because maybe the company isn't bad. Maybe it's a good company that's just struggling with their processes or struggling with this or that. But you as the employee just don't like the work.
Yeah.
So that's something to think
Yep.
about there too.
Yeah. No, it's yep. Yeah, and again, easier said than done. I know people have families, things like this. Take a little, start working toward it. If you're that unhappy with what you do,
Yeah.
there's a saying out there: "Do what you love, and the money will follow." And it's true. It's easier said than done, but you can work toward that goal. of,
Mhm.
and it's a little step at a time, a step at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. It's like Gary Vee says, you have a 9 to 5, but what are you doing 5 to 9?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? What are you doing 5 to 9 to further your happiness and get out of
Mhm.
unhappiness? Yeah, and folks, yeah. So again, it was interesting article. Check out the whole thing. I just gave you a little excerpt about what it's all about. It goes into different examples, and one of the examples I just read before I closed the window was that like folks feel employees can feel when the company's not talking the talk, or walking the talk, right? They may say, "Oh,
Yeah.
we're people first," but they don't have any employee surveys and or they don't listen
Yes.
to employee feedback. How are you people
Yeah.
first if you're not listening to your people?
Yep.
So that's a good example. So anywho, we're gonna get into our employee origin stories, just meaning like how did we become employees? What was our
Yeah.
first?
Our
You want to
first
start it
job.
off?
Yeah, I started off. So me, I was in high school and it was about 15, 16 years old.
There we
And
go.
I was like, hey, it's time for me to get a job or whatever. And I think I was like a junior or sophomore in high school. What was around that year,
Yeah.
11th grade. And
Yep.
Sports Authority
Oh,
was
no. Where'd you
hiring.
go to high school?
Palm Beach Gardens High School.
Okay.
Yeah, home of the Gators. Go Gators.
Oh gosh.
So that's where I went and got a job. Was very diligent, and I like something that my mom and dad told me. They taught me about hard work and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
they said, hey, after the interview, call
Hmm.
call once a week and say, hey, thank you for the interview. I'm looking forward to working with you and hope you consider it. And boom, and that's what I did. And they loved that attitude, and they hired me and brought me on
Nice.
to
Oh,
work nights.
nice. Oh,
So
dang. Okay. Because you
work
was in
nights
school.
because I was in school,
Not
but
overnight though, right?
not overnight, but it was
Oh,
like
okay.
I was working
Like
till like
evenings.
I was working evenings from 5 to 10 or something like that,
Oh,
or
wow.
11, five
Okay.
to close. And so
Okay.
it took some adjustment to get used to, and
Heck
ultimately
yeah.
I had to stop because I was tired in school, and
It's
like
affecting your
by the time,
grades.
yeah, so I was falling
Yeah.
asleep a little bit in class, and like but that was my first job. That's how I initially became an employee. Now
Oh,
before
read my
that,
mind.
I did other things like in the community. So we used to have a snack lady in the apartment complex, right? And she ended up moving, and so there was no snack person now. We used to sell those little frozen Kool-Aid cups and like the
That's
snacks and all that stuff.
hilarious.
So we were like, you know what? We're gonna start doing that. We're gonna start selling the little frozen Kool-Aid cups, and we were doing that for
That's
a dollar or whatever.
hilarious.
And it was easy. It was good money.
Yep.
We were making
Yep.
like decent
Heck
money. And we were
yeah.
just like, hey, it's a dollar. Boom, mix
Feel a
some
need.
Kool-Aid, and boom, like,
Yep.
and then doing it. And so we did it for about a month or so, and we made some money. And then people realized like we could just do this at home ourselves. And then they start coming. But that was like
Uh,
my first thing with like running my own little business with my brother and my sister, and so we did it for a little
okay.
bit. And so that was like my first real job there, like counting it, making
Okay.
sure everybody got their cut and doing the stuff like that.
Nice.
So that was pretty interesting, man. So that was it for me. What about you?
Oh man. So I told this story a few times. I had a family member that just from I must have been 5 that just early on just
Yeah.
showed me you can make $2 out of a dollar, how to make how to just, oh look, you can make money. And then so from real early on I was trying to sell things like comic books on the block, like on my sidewalk, laying out
Hmm.
comic books, trying to sell comic books until I was it was funny too because I'm trying to sell comic books until my boy came to go hang out, and I put them all in the bag and I threw them in the bush, and then
Yeah.
somebody stole them from the bush. So I had a
Oh
real
man, that's right.
lesson
You told me
early
that.
on. You got to protect your inventory, right?
Yes.
And then it escalated. So I always had that. Again, I put that battery in my back real early, and then that
Yeah.
was in Queens, and I moved out to Long Island, and I met one of my neighbors, Brian. His name was also Brian, is also Brian, and he was he's still got New Yorkers, right? We got that hustle mentality, and we used to shovel in the snow. We used to shovel. We would do paper routes, and that was like it until we became of age to work. And then, like, I had my mom at this point. Now it's like fast. Oh, actually, no. Then I moved to North Carolina, and I used to work for a older gentleman that had a riding lawnmower, and he would
Mhm.
take me around, and I would do like a few lawns, but he'd let me do mine too. So I would get to cut my grass.
Mm.
Yep. And so that did that. And then when I got back to New York, I had my mom, um, because you needed to work early in New York, you have to get sign off on working papers, right?
Consent.
Consent. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it was like legal age was 16, but if you wanted to work at 14, you had to get sign or you had to get legal papers signed to get the working card, it was called. And then I got
Mhm.
my first job, like W-2 job, was at
Uh-huh.
a grocery store basically called Wall
Yeah.
Bounds. I don't think they even exist anymore, but it was a grocery store in New York. And I was a cashier, and I was like just like
Nice.
a cash checking out groceries, and that was it. That was like my first. Was it? Yeah, 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 yeah. That was the first one, and that was it, man. I was off to the races after that. At that point, I've been working since I was basically 9 or like 11, 10, 9, 10, 11, like just bringing in my own bread. And something that made it more serious, right? It was like my father passed away when I was 14. So
Mhm.
when we came back to New York, I was like 15, 16. And
Yeah.
my goal was just to not be a burden on my mom's. You know what I mean? Like I had that, I took on that. My older brothers were out the house already, and they were like, "Yo, you gotta take care of mom. You gotta take care of
Yeah.
mom." So I was like, I couldn't do much. She held it down. I'm like, what am I gonna do? She got it. She's doing it all. What am I doing?
Mhm.
So the only thing I could think of was like, let me just get work so I could have my own pocket money. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I could have my own spending money. She still bought my clothes and bought my food
Yeah.
and maintained my life. But I was like, you know what? At least I can. I don't have to drain on you any more than that. So at 15, 16, it was like a shift to that
Yeah.
mentality. And then around 19 is when I got the entrepreneur bug. And I was like, oh,
Mhm.
wait a minute. Employee is not exactly the way to be all the time. Like, we ain't got to be an employee.
Yeah.
We could be a boss, right? We could do this
Yes.
ourselves. We could work for ourselves.
Not to be limited to just
We don't have to be
work.
lit. No, we don't.
Well, I
And
mean,
I think
you always got to answer to somebody, even if you're
yes, and that was
an
my next
entrepreneur,
yes.
right?
That's right. That
Mm.
was my next thing, and I learned that early on in that entrepreneurial piece. Wait a minute,
Yeah.
because I was just became a student of business, right, and started just paying
Mhm.
attention and reading and absorbing and learning anything I can. And
Yeah.
I learned that really quick. It was like, wait a minute, and from somewhere, some source, it was like people think that just because you're your own boss doesn't mean that you don't have to answer to someone. You still have to answer. You have to answer to your customers, you
Yes.
know. And I want to say my brother taught me that because he right around 14, 15, he had started his own business, and I was able
Nice.
to work for him as well. That was one of the things that they taught me. Look, we're our own bosses, but we still have to answer to our customers,
Yep.
right? Like your customers still dictate what you need to do and how you need to do it, whatever that customer base looks like. And I think now, like we just said, there's more millionaires now than ever. Folks are realizing that as they that hustle mentality, that entrepreneur, that oh, we're gonna open LLCs and blah. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you still have to answer to your customers. You know what I mean? If you're not selling something, then you're not an entrepreneur. It's a hobby.
You gotta
If
answer.
you're not
You gotta
making
answer to
money,
somebody, man.
that's right. That's right.
Somebody.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
exactly right.
Thanks for
Um,
sharing that, bro. That's
yeah,
you got quite the story there, man. That's what's up. Yeah.
yeah. But look,
Like you always
hey,
been a
yes,
hustler, man.
always, man, and it's still, and I never stopped the dream because look, I've been an employee way longer than I've been an entrepreneur, and it is what it
Yeah.
is. You need one thing to feed the next, and so
Yeah.
on, and
I
don't.
think it's good. I think it's good to know both sides, to know what it
Yeah,
is like to be an
absolutely. You
employee,
have to
to know
serve before you can
to know the
lead.
struggle. Yes, to
Yeah.
know the struggle, to know the in and outs of being an employee, so you know what
Yep.
to do when you're in that leadership entrepreneurial
Mm-hmm.
position, man. And if that concludes what you got to say, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Safe
Nah.
talk, if you want.
Oh yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
So,
Safe talk.
looking
Ah,
back, what's
yeah. I know mine.
something you regret doing as an employee? You want to start off? You want me to start?
Mine was easy. Yeah, we've talked about it
Go ahead.
somewhere. I think we talked about it on a Safe Talk,
Safe talk.
actually, the
Yes.
show. Yes,
Holiday
when
parties.
holiday party. That's it. You already know. You already know. I drank too much at a holiday party, and then that was the lesson that I learned. Holiday party is still work. It's
Yes.
still work.
It's a work event.
It's a work event. You may not be getting paid for the time that you're there, but it's still, yeah, you could possibly get paid
Mhm.
depending on what role you serve in the party. But because if you're salaried employee, you're getting paid. But if you're an hourly employee, whatever,
Well,
it's supposed to be a benefit to you. Hey, here's free food. Here's a time we could talk, and but
yes.
it's also a lesson in whether you serve alcohol at a holiday party or not. Because I haven't had to throw one for my own, and I would be torn in that. But anywho, that was mine. What's yours?
Man, I honestly have to say, I've made lots of mistakes in my career as an employee, but I think one of the biggest things is not speaking up
Mm,
in the
good
midst
one.
of a toxic culture, toxic work environment, and just being quiet, even though I knew something was wrong, and actually just becoming a part of the crew, a part of the team there, a part of that toxic culture. Because
Part of the
hey,
problem.
everybody else is doing it,
Hmm.
and I may not be partaking per se, but I'm turning a blind eye, so I'm guilty by association, right? You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Because hey, everybody else is doing it. They're making this person feel uncomfortable by saying this and saying that and doing this and doing that. And I'm just and I'm sitting there laughing, even though I know it's wrong internally. So
Hmm.
that's where I regret doing it as an employee. I know it's a little bit more serious, but that's for me. That's I think about that, like how I could have stood in the gap for somebody else, how I could have spoken up for somebody else, and when somebody was doing
Or
something that was
yep.
bad. So
Or for yourself, no, too, right?
yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I had that. I had that. I was burned because I didn't speak up for myself. That would be the second thing. If
Mm,
I had to run off a list, that would be the second thing is not speaking up for myself. Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Not and now it's no, I can't. Doesn't mean you blurt it out as soon as you think it. You have to. Sometimes you have to find the right way to craft what you want to say, articulate how you want to say it. Being
Man.
mindful of who you have to respect and what the politics are involved and things and like that. But you got to go
Man, I'm
on
talking.
record sometimes.
Yeah, man, I'm talking about the whole culture was bad. HR was bad.
Oh
My
wow.
department was bad. Like everybody
Oof.
was bad there, because it was the
That's
norm, right? It was
crazy.
a normal toxic environment. Hey, this is what you got to
That's
deal
crazy.
with, and the ladies were feeling it from there, and certain guys were feeling it from there, and it's just like it was just really
Wow.
toxic, and so everybody just oh, this is what it is. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's my biggest regret, man.
Wow. Yeah, folks, it's tough. It gets tough. It gets tough again because we get so concerned. Folks, yeah, I've spoken to some people. Oh, I can't. I need my job. I need my job. I can't say anything. I can't risk losing my job. And
Yes,
that's
bro, and
scary, man. That sucks. If that's the feeling, that is horrible. I wish
hmm
something better for you all that are in that situation. I'm not saying you're not, because it could still be possible. And I hope the best for all that they can work themselves out of that situation.
doing the right thing is not always easy.
No,
Sometimes it's lonely
the
because you're the
hardest.
only
Yeah,
one
that's
doing
right.
it, only one
That's
standing
right.
up. You may be the start, you may be the first domino that starts that change. Speak up.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, it's a great way to end it. Speak up. Speak up. Be careful. Work
Yes.
events are still work events.
hmm
Anything, any party your job is hosting is a work event. There are best
Yes.
practices for these things. Be mindful of that.
Yes.
Um,
Don't show up to to the party event in those Instagram leggings or some
oh
speedos.
my!
Don't do
I
it.
was just thinking about that. Dress appropriately.
Yeah.
This is not where you wear that dress or those pants.
Yes. Yes. Don't be Mr.
Uh,
Tight Pants. Don't be Mr. Tight
oh
Pants.
man, or the shirt and then open
Yeah.
down, the chest. You got your
Yeah.
chest open with the chain.
Got the baby oil on, glistening.
Yo, me and my mom was in the mall yesterday, and my mom is like,
uh,
"How do people come out in the way the stuff that they wear?" And I was like, "Cause they ain't got good friends. They do
yeah.
not have good friends."
Yeah. I'm telling you, bro. telling you, times are different, bro.
Oh
Times are
gosh.
different.
So yeah, that's a short and sweet show for you today, folks, and just hope you had some laughs with us, learn some things, and enjoy your day and enjoy your week. Ooh, what do we got? Do you know what we're doing next week for this show?
No, I don't. I think we're going to. The premise
Ooh,
of season three is really going to be the focus on. We're going to introduce some states
yes.
information in the
We're gonna
pay
start
news
getting
update,
yes,
state
yes. We're gonna start
specific
getting
and different
serious.
things as we keep going along. We're going to focus
Yes,
in some different industries about a restaurant worker. What do you do about this as you're
yes,
a farm
yes.
worker? Like we're going to start
Particular
looking in.
challenges. Yes, I
Yes,
love it.
about
Thank you.
that
So you
stuff.
do
So
know.
that's going to be the focus. Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be. Yeah, we don't know exactly what the show topic is going to be, but that yes. Wait, we got to do a season. Is this a season 3 preview too? Oh, it is.
yeah.
Okay, so that yeah, this is the season 3 preview as well. That is the focus. We want to drill down into different industries.
Yep.
We are going to get very intentional about sharing state by state rules for you, the employee, that apply to you and your paycheck in the
Hmm.
state that you're in. And it's going to take a while, folks. Because so
Yeah.
just stay tuned. If you want to hear about your state, reach out.
Yeah.
We'll raise that state to the top of the list. If
Yes,
not, we're
sir.
going to go in order of where they're the most employees. So California is the number one state for employees, and so we're going to
Yes.
start there, right? Not that they are so important; they just have a ton of they rank. They got the most people working.
Our
Mm,
research.
we did our research. We're trying to be intentional, folks. But if you reach out to us and engage, we're on
Yes.
LinkedIn, we're on Facebook. Look out for a. I don't know if I want to call it a rebranding because we've already rebranded,
Mhm.
but it's a streamlining of things. So now you're gonna
Yes.
see two great hosts on with two great shows on all our social, right? Our
Yep.
website that we do two shows, and you can see that's one and that's the other. This might not work in the view that you see because it might, I don't know.
Somewhere.
Yeah, maybe somewhere like that. Oh, actually, we usually do side to side. I see it stacked right now on my
Yeah.
screen, so I'm like,
Yeah. Stacked on
anyway.
mine
But
too. Yeah.
yeah, but anyway, we do two different shows. One is geared to the employee, and one is geared
Yes.
directly to anybody who actually has a hand in the payroll process. But we're going to
Yes.
bring it to the same platform. Look out for your branding. If you want to see the show about employee paycheck, look out for the paycheck one and click on those. And you're going to see that streamlining across all our socials. So our LinkedIn page is there. It's about your payroll right now, but it'll be both soon. It's about your paycheck is on Facebook and TikTok, but it'll be both soon. We're going to grow our Facebook and an Instagram presence, so we'll be everywhere shortly. But right now, go to the site though. It's about payroll.io. It's about your
Mhm.
paycheck.com. Brings you to the same venue, same site. Again, two great hosts, two great shows, and more in store for season 3 as we continue to
Sir.
build and really cultivate this product for you. And we're looking out for engagement. Reach out to us. What do you want to hear about? What do you want to learn about? And
Yep.
that'll guide our shows for sure. We'll absolutely switch
Sir.
gear if whoever reaching out want to know some. We'll do it. Yeah. With that said, we love you. Till the next time. Peace.
Peace. Before we sign off, here are a couple quick things. Don't forget to follow It's About Payroll on LinkedIn and It's About Your Paycheck on Facebook and TikTok. Thank you for being a part of our payroll community, and thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.